True Value, a massive hardware wholesaler, has just announced they are filing for bankruptcy. They're planning to sell their company to a rival. Before I dive into this story, I want to remind you that these are massive signs that the economy is not doing well, no matter what you were told on the mainstream by the mainstream media. And it's interesting because I have a friend really high up in the the hardware wholesale world. And he's one of those friends that has told me before multiple times, I haven't watched your channel, I never will. And we've been friends for a long time. And I've been warning him about these things. And, '08 was rough. And I said, what's coming is going to be even rougher. And stories like this definitely fit the bill. I'm going to remind you of two things. I did a housing video, the future of the housing market, on my other channel. I put a link down in the description, and I'll pin it when this video is done in the comment section. Please go check it out. We spent some time editing it and putting it together, and it's really going to show you what's going on. And it has to deal with stories like this. The future of the housing market actually looks bleak, but if you understand that bleak means an opportunity, I hope you go crush it. I hope you get ready for this. All right. Another thing is there's 4 hours left of the Bitcoin accelerator, the 101 course, the pure basics of owning any, buying, selling, storing any cryptocurrency. It's 90% off. 4 hours left. That sale's over after that. Here we go. Hardware wholesaler True Value files for bankruptcy, plans to sell to rival. It says the hardware supplier True Value filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy and is aiming to be sold by the end of the year to rival Do It Best. True Value retail stores, which are independently owned and operated, are not part of the bankruptcy, and the wholesaler said it will continue to supply products to those 4,500 locations. The iconic brand has been around for 75 years. Now, during COVID, we heard of restaurants that had been around through the Great Depression, through the crash of 29, and they had failed during COVID, right? That makes sense because they were literally just told, you can't have any customers. We're going to shut you down. When you start seeing iconic names going down, Sears, JCPenney, obviously Kmart, True Value, it's a sign of what's coming, a sign of what's happening right now. And I have to be honest with you, it doesn't bum me out at all. As a matter of fact, it gets me pumped up because that's the whole reason this channel exists. It's to show people what an economic cycle is like and how to take advantage of the downturn in that economic cycle. It says True Value, which sells hardware, tools, lumber, plumbing, and heating supplies, and other home improvement goods, has between $500 million and $1 billion in total liabilities, according to its Chapter 11 petition in Delaware bankruptcy court. It says here, after a thorough evaluation of strategic alternatives, we determined that the sale of our business was the path forward to maximize value and best serve our retail partners and other stakeholders into the future. And this comes from Chris Kempa, True Value's CEO. We believe entering the process with an agreed offer from Do It Best, who has similar decades-long history in the home improvement space and also operates with a focus on supporting members and helping them grow, is the most beneficial next step for True Value and our associates, customers, and vendor partners, the CEO added. Now think about this. Right now, because of bankruptcy court, there are a lot of people owed a lot of money from True Value that are shaking in their boots. They'd be lucky to get pennies on the dollar at this point, right? That's, of course, if the bankruptcy court lets this go through, which I bet you it will, because on the other side of that, there are these partner stores that depend on True Value, and they've been paying them money every month or every year for their franchise, for their advertising and things like that. And if the company folds, who's going to advertise for these independent stores? They're going to be completely independent. Where a lot of people would actually think that's a good thing, but there are a lot of people, and my grandfather owned an Ace branded hardware store, understood what that was like and how important that iconic name is. Now, we understand that the latest stories of like 7-Eleven shuttering nearly 450 underperforming stores across North America is way more of a move strategically now, but it shows the truth. You see, 7-Elevens aren't popping up on every street corner. As a matter of fact, do me a favor and type down below how old your local 7-Eleven is. And I'll bet you very rarely will you see, oh, I just had one built the other day. This isn't a Silicon Valley brand 7-Eleven just popping up out of nowhere in the last couple of years, right? But they have had to shut down all of these underperforming stores because the economy is very weak and sick. Now it says here, going back to the True Value story, Fort Wayne, Indiana-based Do It Best agreed to serve as a stalking horse bidder for True Value's assets, which means True Value remains open to higher offers. Do It Best has agreed to pay $153 million in cash, take on about $45 million in contracts and other obligations, and hire some True Value employees. So you're going to see a lot of employees get laid off through this. Again, sticking with the narrative that I've been warning people about, that layoffs are coming. They're already here. They're going to get worse, right? This isn't the biggest one, but still remember, it adds to the numbers. And also remember, this is just the opening. Like, hey, this is what we're willing to pay. And if other people bid higher, well, then possibly with a better plan, hey, I'll pay more for your brand, your name, your stores, your inventory, all that stuff. I'll pay more and I'll supply more jobs. I won't lay as many people off as Do It Best has said. That's still open, but if it doesn't, this is the best they're going to get, okay? Let me know if you work for True Value, Ace, any of the hardware retailers, including Lowe's and Home Depot. Let me know down below how business is. Tell me, hey, what brand do you work for? And is business stronger today, or is it weaker than a year ago or 2 years ago? I want to know down below. People need to be able to see this. Now it says that a successful acquisition of True Value assets would represent a strategic milestone for Do It Best and home improvement retailers around the world, said Dan Starr, Do It Best president and CEO. Do It Best has a proven track record of driving profitability through the most efficient operations in the industry. Blah, 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 blah. Why do I say that? Well, let CEO speak for everything's looking great over here. Don't look at us. See, the truth is they have similar issues. Everyone does. Home Depot and Lowe's has been the mouthpiece for all home do-it centers around the nation. And that is, the consumer is done. They're tapped. They have no more money. Whether you want to listen to big banks that are saying it because they know exactly how much is in your savings account, or if you want to hear it from the corporate earnings of these big companies like Walmart or Lowe's, they're all saying the same thing. It's endgame. Doesn't matter when the government comes out and tells you the recession has officially started. We're there. So this is the time to be preparing for amazing times as the market collapses. That's how it works. That's what I did before the Great Recession. That's what I want you to do this time. I'm not a YouTuber that tells you everything that's happening day by day. I show you what's happening today and then show you what's going to happen tomorrow based on what's happening today. There's not a lot of people out there doing that. So I'll tell you what, if you ever wanted to have a little bit of exposure, like $100 in Bitcoin, learn about it. Learn the right way to do it, all of the risks associated with it, how to do it right to save yourself a lot of heartache, time, and money. That course, the sale ends in 4 hours, a little over the 4 hours. And then we'll never do a pre-filming lesson again. It's 90% off. And then if you want to check out what's going on in the housing market, my other channel is a backup channel. And a video just dropped today. And it's really important to watch, I think, because I think you're going to get a lot out of it. I hope you do. If you do, hit the subscribe button over there. We put a lot of time into it and talking about the future of the housing market. And yes, we are getting all of these predictions edited up right now. I can't wait for it. Hope you got something out of this. Thank you so much for watching. The Economic Ninja is out.